Hello and welcome back to the verbose mode at Spring IO 2025. My next guest is my colleague, developer advocate at JetBrains,
Yes.
Marco, and we can tell by the logo there. Marco, great to see you. Thank you for coming.
It's great to see you too, Baruch. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. And we just discussed it's going to be an exclusive scoop that Marco might think about starting one of those interviews as well.
Yes.
And you know what? We multiply. Every time we go,
Yes,
we
we
do
multiply,
the same.
yeah.
Right, so there is DevOps Speakeasy that we did with JFrog, and I think it's still running. Maybe there is the Build Proposition Lab that we did with Gradle, and hopefully they will continue with that. Now another variation or another fork, the verbose mode with TuxCare, and hopefully soon something from JetBrains as well. That would be great.
Yeah, you will see something. You have an awesome setup here. You can't see it, but it is an awesome setup. So hopefully we can reproduce it.
Nice.
Yeah.
That would be the more the merrier, right? But let's talk about something related to the conference right now. And you mentioned that you introduced here something that is called the Spring Debugger for IntelliJ.
Yes. So what I think, honestly, it's one of the most exciting feature releases when you are a Spring developer, which have come to IntelliJ lately. And I always used to say, when I was freelancing a lot, doing different projects across different companies before joining JetBrains. And your Spring application, you have different domains, you have different tech stacks, you have Spring, you have Hibernate, tons of magic which is happening. And at some point I got kind of lazy whenever I had problems like, hey, where does the property come from? Why did it get loaded in a certain way? Why does it get overridden? Why is it being a certain way? That I just wanted to have a single button which I can click, which gives me a simple answer to complex questions. And that, where do I have to click, is essentially what we try to replicate with Spring Debugger, giving you detailed, simple answers to complex questions about your Spring application that you couldn't get before, essentially.
So I think I could get some of them before, because in IntelliJ you could always click on the small, like a bean icon that will take you, if it's injected, right? If it's a dependency that injected somewhere, that will take you to the original of where it is defined. So there was something. It wasn't like I was coding in Notepad.
Yeah, it is. There was something, but we're trying to make it much, much better. And what that means is, we essentially don't want you to lose context, and everything should be available in the debugging panel, I think it's called. So everything you want to access and want to find out, it's right there. So no context switches, no different files, no navigation, no nothing. Everything is right there. And let me give you an example. When you open up your Spring application and go ahead and want to find out which property comes from which properties file, and does it get overridden? Where does it get overridden from? Is it a file? Is it a config server? Is it some other bean? Where would you go and find out where the hell the property comes from?
Yeah.
There is no simple way, kind of. And now we put that piece of information into the debug tool window with a nice button. Hey, this is where the property comes from. Doesn't matter if it's like 20 different sources, we will show you the right place where it came from. And
the one that is running right now.
The one that is running. It doesn't matter if you have 20 profiles active, if it's a config server, whatever, we'll bring you to the right place. There's a navigate to button. You don't have to do anything, just hit the debug button and you will be brought to it. Another feature, you boot up your application, and then you visually might want to see which beans are active, which beans have been loaded or are disabled. And now we gray out in the project tool window these beans which are not active anymore, and we just give you visual confirmation of what your application looks like at runtime. So all these tiny things haven't been possible before, and I think that is actually going to massively help you on a day-to-day basis.
You know what, now when you describe it, I don't know how we managed without it.
Yes. Last example maybe, transactions. If you have worked in a crazy, let's say, banking application with, I don't know, many different transactions spanning, you want to know where does the transaction start actually, which method starts it, which method forks it off into a new transaction, whatever. Again, we put the transaction tracing in the debugging tool window. We show you, do you have an active transaction? Where did it start? Where did it branch off? Navigate to buttons brings you to the right place. Doesn't matter how deeply nested your call stack is, just the information right there. And that's what we're trying to replicate.
That sounds very, very useful. Which brings me to kind of a question that comes over and over in those interviews today for some reason, and that's the question of expertise and mastery. How does that, how the experts are going to benefit from it comparing to maybe people that are not very experienced? I completely get it how it empowers the people who, for whom Spring is magic and they're completely lost in what's going on. But if I'm already experienced with Spring, I pretty much know what's going on. Maybe I understand the internal workings of the framework better. So how can this tool can help me even further?
I think pretty much you're looking at time savings. So if you know what's happening already, you could spend an hour, debugging everything yourself, or you just find all the information in one place just in seconds, essentially. So I think for experts, it's about massive time savings. And even for beginners, I mean, obviously time savings and then getting information you wouldn't even know where to get.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean,
because it's all magic,
yes,
right?
It literally is all magic.
Yeah.
And so it's just it's just convenient. And I have to be honest, we don't want you to get out of IntelliJ IDEA anymore. Just stick in the editor window and not use any other tools. No terminal, no database tools. Just be inside IntelliJ IDEA. That's the plan at least. And I think we're moving one step closer, with these features.
Excellent. That sounds great. And I think if I remember correctly, Spring support is in the Ultimate edition.
It's in the Ultimate edition.
Yeah.
So you need the Ultimate edition. Some folks, unfortunately, are still on Community edition. We would like to see you upgrade too.
You know what? I think with this tool, it's even more justified.
Yes.
In the end of the day, if you count the number of time that you save,
yes,
and you convert it into a hard currency like how much the developer costs per hour,
absolutely,
it justifies itself like in a month.
Absolutely, I think so too. Yeah, and I think organizations do well when they really upgrade, because if you're a Spring developer, it helps you massively. Yeah, of course. That's what my kind of gut's feeling tells us as well. The savings should be massive, yes,
which is generally true for a lot of tooling. And I think one of the problems of our industry is that we don't articulate enough how much toolings are. How much money those tools save.
I think so too. I tell you what, back in the day, I was advocating for JRebel a lot, like 10 or 15 years ago at my companies. I was like, hey, let's use JRebel. I can just reload my demo application. And most of them were like, we'd have to pay something. And I was like, why? I mean, it makes so much sense. So even back in the day, it's like, we could just use it and benefit from it. But
And generally, delegating to tools to do stuff that we waste our time for is the same with Taxcare, right? That when you can delegate, making sure that all your libraries are patched with security vulnerabilities, that will save you time, and it's actually something worth paying for.
Absolutely, same thing.
Same
thing.
Oh.
But I don't know, some organizations still have to grok it, I guess.
I think a lot of it's a matter of how we present it. In the end of the day, if we can provide a clear return on investment, which 100% works for IntelliJ Ultimate or for Taxcare for that matter, it should be no-brainer for any fiscally responsible organization. We are not asking for money, we are giving back money.
Yes, absolutely, we're giving back. And I mean, I heard some people came to our booth and said now they have to cut cloud costs. And I mean, when you can cut like $1 million in cloud costs every month, then at least you can get some licenses for our tools.
But here's the thing, right? It's when we invest money in licenses, we save money. And this is the main point. Instead of like, hey, please give us some money, the conversation is, hey, do you want us to save you some money?
Absolutely.
And this is what really changes.
Absolutely. Absolutely true. The return on investment is huge, and just like you said.
And yeah, absolutely. So, folks, if you use already IntelliJ Ultimate, check out the new tool. It will save you time. If you are still not on Ultimate, give it a try, and then present a case of how much money it actually saves.
Yes, that would be very much appreciated. Try it out, and I'm pretty sure you'll like it. Yeah.
Not only you like it, it will literally save money for your organization. Do the right thing, save money for your organization. That's the pitch. That's the pitch.
That's the pitch.
Marco, thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you very much, Baruch.
And you all stay tuned for more episodes of the Verbose Mode, and hopefully soon enough, new episodes of the JetBrain podcast whenever it will start.
Stay
Perfect.
tuned.
Thank you very much.